This is a Figma training, which is a tool that Asperi will be using in the Davida project for screenshots and UI UX feedback. Nadav is going to train us all, and if anybody missed it, we can share the recording after. Okay, thank you, Nadav.
Thank you, Josefa. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Nadav. I'm a UX UI designer, and today we are going to do an introduction about a program named Figma. So, for those of you that never heard of Figma, Figma is a UX UI design tool. It's very similar to Sketch and Adobe XD, but with several advantages that make it a better choice for big teams and for us as a team who work on the same projects. So first of all, Figma is a cloud-based app, which means that team members can open the same file and work on it together. Changes that are made by the designers are immediately saved and updated, and there is no need to upload anything because everything is on the cloud. By that, we can be sure that files always stay synced, which is super important, especially when we are move our files to the developers. And secondly, because Figma is not just a design tool, it's also a collaboration tool that brings together project managers, architects, developers, and anyone that can contribute to the project. When team works on different design apps like Sketch, so most of the time the designers, whoops, okay, do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Something with my cable. Okay. Anyway, so again, when designers work with different apps like Sketch, most of the time they will share their workflow in bridge platforms like Zeppelin, InVision, etc., mainly for feedback and developer handoff. In Figma, there are tools for creating advanced prototypes and Inspect, which make it all in one platform. In Figma, entire workflow is in the same place. This is why it's much better. I personally used to work with Sketch, and it really was. You need to put everything. Sometimes in InVision for the feedback, sometimes on Zeppelin. Now it's much easier. So first step is to sign up to Figma. It's important to understand that each team member needs to create a user. Without having a user, you will be able to view the workflow in a presentation mode only, which is the case when we are sharing links for usability testing. We have Jay, that is the user research of the Vita, the UX research, and he uses sometimes the usability testing, and then we don't want them to write anything to see any view mode, so they don't need to have a user, but anyone else should have a user. So really, if you want to leave a comments, you must be connected, logged in. The second thing is to make sure to have access. Developers who need to open the editor for inspect need to get an invitation and permission to view the file. By default, all Asperi's employees can open and view the editor without having this invitation, but outsourced developers must be added manually. As you can see, this is our permission for all the developers, and this is what we defined. Wait, my screen really making trouble. And here you can see that also this is my Gmail user, because the editor mode and the viewer mode is a bit different. So I added myself so I can show you how it looks in the developer eyes. Okay, so Before I dive into the editor and show how to take specs and assets, I want to explain a little bit how we manage and organize our files in Figma. And for this, I'll take the Vita project as an example. So, do you see my screen still?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, great. So this is our Figma. As we can see, it's really web-based. I'm now on the Google Chrome, and I enter to the Vita project. And here you can see a lot of files, and we decided to create files according to tests and user flows. For example, you can see, let's say, you can see here the station related and the reserve slot, which is the station related. It's also the station creation and also the station reassignment. So if I go into the file, yes, if I go into the file, I can see that I have here a lot of screens, and also this is my canvas. This is my left panel, that is all the layers and the pages of the file. And you can see here that I have two pages, sorry. One is for station related and one is for reserve slot. So why we did it? In Figma, each page is only one starting frame. So in the case of new flow, we just added more page, and by that each flow gets its own link. So if I click on prototype, you can see now that here there is a little play icon, and also in the station related there is also the play button. This is actually the starting frame. So each page have only one starting frame, which means that if now I click play, I get to here. And if I play with my prototype and I do several things, I can always click on R, which is restart, and I will always get back to my starting frame. Okay, so this is why we decided to split the flows for two pages. So two exceptional files are the daily Gantt and the roster Gantt. In those files, the interdivision is a bit different because those are very complex screens with a lot of different tasks. So we decide to create one page for approved for the business. It's also approved and for review, and one page for screens that flows that are in progress. You can see here, for example, there are a lot of different flows. Each row is a different flow. So as we said before, there is only one starting frame. So this is why we decided to do a sort of menu. There is a menu also for the in progress and also for the business. So then if I will click on play, I see this table of content. And now, let's say I want to see one of the flow that is here. I can do it. I can play with the prototype. And I can also always click on R, and I will get back to the starting frame, which is the menu. Let's try this, the side panels. By the way, this part is mainly for the SA, the STCs, the project, and the business. There is a little tooltip which explain about the user flows. but this is the idea of the starting frame. There is also, as we said, also for the business, and also one for the in progress, which the in progress one is more for internal discussion. It's we usually show it to the SA, to the STC, to the dev lead, and this is it. So after we started to work with you, with the developers, we understood that it wasn't enough, all those flows, because there are a lot of flows that will be splitted in Jira to different stories. So we really received the feedback about struggling with the orientation here. So the last thing we decided to do, and it's only for the Gantt, the daily Gantt and the roster Gantt. It's not for the other flows in the facilities. As you can see in the station, let's say in the reserve slot, we bring the developer to that place, but in the daily Gantt, and the roster Gantt, because it's really complex, we decided to create a new file which called devqa examples. So here the separation in the pages is a bit different. Now it's divided by LSs, and you can see also the sprint, sprint 17, sprint 18. And now, and basically what we do is taking after the business approve the flow that you see here, we take it after the SA and SDCs create the stories, and we duplicate it to that file, and also we make sure that the flow is really fully detailed. You got everything you need, and this is where we take you. So in conclusion, we can say that the SA, STC dev lead should be familiar more with that, and then the developers should work with, and the QA should work with that file. So last part of the training, we will talk about the handoff. So for that, I'll switch to the other screen. This is my incognito, and now I see it as an editor. Because as we said, the editor mode and the viewer mode, it's a bit different. So this is the viewer mode. And the developer really get a link, and when he get a link, he see it in a presentation mode, which it's like that, and they really can play with the interactive. Okay, you can see really how we want it to be. So about that, first of all, here there is a little icon of add comment. Again, you must be logged in to leave a comment. And some shortcuts that it's important to know. First of all, it's R. As we said, R always take you to the starting frame. Second key short is Z. Okay, Z is changing the display. You can see it like full width or oops. You can also switch it from here. Okay, and another thing is the hotspot. Sometime maybe the hotspot won't be here. Maybe if we want to send it to the testing, so maybe we will drop the hotspot. But anyway, if you want to show it, so you just need to make sure this one is checked. And the last thing, if you see it like that, and you try to see the top bar and the footer, just press on the black area or press escape, and you will see all of it. Okay? So now as developer, I got the link, I played with the flow, great. Now I want to see the code. So I need to go to my inspect panel. So to see it, I just, again, if I don't see anything, I just click escape and I go to this, and I click on the arrow and I click on open in editor. And the open in editor, it's important to know that wherever I will be in the screen, if I click on here, open in editor, it will open the design file on that screen. If I click from here, it will open from this screen. This is how it's work, okay? So really, let's try this. So now I open my design file. And as we said, you can see that everything is that I'm on the screen that I view. So let's talk a little bit about what we see here. First of all, as we said,
Nadav, maybe we can pause for a minute for questions. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, so we will have more time for questions on the end, I guess. Sorry.
yeah, I assume that in the end there will be more questions. So yeah, so we talked about the tool, the layout, what I see. So as you can see, the top bar. If I go back to the viewer mode, so you can see that here I have all my design tools, which the frame, the rectangle, everything, and here in the right panel I have the design. I have the design, I have prototype, and I have inspect. So this is for the editor, and for the viewer, you have only the comment and the inspect and export and the export. So let's say I want to inspect something in the file. I just click on it, and now I can see here in the inspect mode all the information. Here it show me where it is in the layer panels, and here it will show me all the data, all the properties, the typography, the colors, and also there is the CSS, and I can toggle it in two different modes. So although Figma generated the code, it's not meant to be copied and pasted. It's more of a reference. This is something that it's important to say. So yeah, I can click on everything. I can see all the data. And let's say if I click on something, you can see here the dashed lines, which show me really, let's say the padding, the space between the different elements. So this is the way that also that help us to develop. And if we want to download an asset, we need to click on it. We need to click on it, and as you can see, we have here the export. But a clarification about icons, okay? When we create the icon, it may be a union of several shapes, and the inspect, as you can see, it intends to break it. This is the icon. This is the path that build the icon, and my cursor just break it. So what should I do as a developer? First of all, when we are the designer create the icon, we always put it in a container, because all of the icons should be in the same container, let's say, in the same size. So if I want to download that icon, I just click on it, and then you can see here the parent component, okay? So you can see icon 24 wheelchair, okay? It's that area, so, oops. So this is the icon including the container. This is not including the container, this is including the container. So I just click on it, and then I can click on the target icon. I click on it, and it take everything. And then really I can go to export, and I click on the plus button, and usually I will do it on SVG, and then I can export my file. This is very, very important. Okay, never download only the path. Always download it with the container. The last thing that is actually something new that I've been asked today. It's about the shadow. Okay, let's say if I go to that file, okay, let's say ls4715, okay, no, this ls, okay. So for example, I can see that I have here a light box, okay. This is right. Okay, never mind. I have here a light box. So also in the presentation mode, just a second. Also, if you try to see the prototype, just click on play, and it will show it to you. So yeah, so in the presentation mode, you see that there is like a shadow to the box, a drop shadow. And when you go to the inspect and you click on it, you don't see any data of shadow. So in that case, what happened is that probably the shadow, it's not on the rectangle, it's probably on the containing frame. So now if I go up, okay, this is the lightbox frame, okay, and now I can see my shadow. The shadow is there, it's only just on a different layer. As you can see, this is the rectangle without the shadow, and now it's with the shadow, and that's it basically. So now really, if you have a question, I will happy to answer it.
Are you loading CSS styles in order to make, for example, model windows?
Again, can you repeat?
You're loading CSS styles, yeah?
CSS files?
Yes.
Styles.
Yes, CSS styling through files, or you write it for yourself.
The CSS is always here. The app is generate the code. I not write any of the CSS. I just click on layer, if it's a text, if it's a shape, if it's an icon. Icon should be exported, but every layer, it's generate the code itself.
Understood. Thank you.
Nadav,
Yeah.
if I want to see a specific component, a specific item, do I need to find a specific screen? Or, for example, here on the daily, the appointment component, right?
Yeah.
Do they all share all the same information? Because if I go to any screen, pick any one of them, will it have all the same information, or do I need like the original one?
There
See
is
as much information as I can.
the same information. When we are designing the component, we are actually creating components, and the thing that you see here is not really a component, it's actually an instance. Okay, if I go back to my file, let's say let's say to that file. So you see right? So anyway, yeah, there is a component and there is something that called instance, that the instance is the child of the components. So everything will be the same. I mean, just different styles. So let's say the confirmed appointment is just like the other component. The instance, I can change the style, but all the information is the same. It will be the same data.
Okay, so if I need something generic like the shape, for example, they all share the shape and I can take it from any of them.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
You have a generic component in order to represent all those shifts, right?
Yeah, I'll take you to a page that I have, which called custom components. Okay, so here, for example, you can see that I have a generic component, and I just duplicate it, and let's say if I want to change it, I defined it in a way that this will be pinned to the right, all of this will be pinned to the right, but also it's the same component. It's never mind if I change it or not. It's still the same component, the same instance. But you don't see my components. You only see the screens.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else, maybe from the side of the STC or about the organization, the files organization?
Different tasks are getting different Figma with flows.
Yeah, again, there is a different links for different flows, except of the GANs, which have this table of content. So here there is only one link, which from here, from him I can go to any flow. But the developers should work, if they work on the Gantt, they are always get a link to one of those story, which again, any story they see first as presentation mode.
So Nadav, usually what you added to the stories is those links from the dev QA examples file?
Yeah, because when we are when we are creating the flow for the first time for the review, it also might be a change after the feedback, and also we're not making the flow fully detailed. So it means that maybe I will create the flow without overstate. For example, in the dev QA files, I make sure that everything they need is right there.
Okay. Can you please make sure to send us the links again? So we will know to save it for later on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, I have a question. Can you please tell me, is there any design for different resolutions?
Yes, there is designs for different resolutions. It's a story of its own. It's not like a flow. It's just a story. So here, for example, it don't have the ls, but it should be. But for example, this is the place you can see all the changing through the resolutions.
Thank you.
But it's not for each flow. It's just like it's for the main layout.
Thank you.
Is there any file structure?
Any what?
File structure for all those windows.
Yeah, there is.
How can we navigate through it?
So you don't navigate through it. You just get links, and after you get link, let's say when you are in your account, you can go here in the hamburger icon, the menu icon, to back to files. Okay.
Yes.
This is my personal Figma account.
Oh,
so
yeah.
here I have personal and Asperi. But here you see all your files, all your shared files. When someone invite you, as we said, I click. If you remember, I go back here. They make sure to have access. Okay, so when I click on share and I put your email, so in your account, you will see a notification, and you will need to press on accept, and then you will see here the file that we shared with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any more questions?
Okay.
And I just want to say that again, of course, that communication is the best thing. And if there is any question about the flow, about the Figma, and I believe that even before you are start developing, the designer should go through the prototype with the developer. So anyway, anytime, feel free to ask questions.
Yeah.
So I can contact, for example, with you if I don't understand something.
Yes, of course. So for the
Sure.
daily Gantt, for the patients, it's me and Stav work on the Polaris team, and the developers work on the Titans. It's Karin and Igor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nadav and UI team, for the training. Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you, Nadav.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you very much.
guys.
Bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Really
Thank you.
great.